overstretch class. Starting with some gentle warm-ups and then moving into some more deeper stretches. Taking nice deep breaths. Rolling the shoulders backwards for a few motions and forwards. A gentle movement of the neck, limber it up a little and placing one arm on the hip as you take it down the thigh, placing the arm up and over so that you're stretching, keeping your chest open so the shoulders back, not hunching over, and slowly reaching up and over so that you feel a beautiful stretch in the waist. Coming up, taking another breath as you go to the opposite side, taking the hand down the thigh, reaching your hand up and over. Gently softening so that you feel a good stretch in the waist and side of the body. Keeping your chest open so that your shoulders back, not hunching over. Stretching the arms out so that you can get a good stretch in the chest. Beautiful wings, angel wings. Perhaps taking your wings up and back, up and back. So you're getting a good stretch in the chest, perhaps in the upper part of the chest. Taking the arms, your angel wings to different levels. Let you feel your body needs a good stretching. You'll get it in slightly different parts of the chest and shoulder as you take the arms to a different part. And then you can clasp the hands behind the body to get an even deeper stretch into the chest. So my hands are clasped together, opening up the chest, and if you can take your hands up higher. I'm not very flexible in this particular part, so I like to leave it for the moment and then gently lift it up when I can. And place your hands at the back of the hip, just above the hips, above buttocks. And you're getting a slightly different stretch in the chest and also a little bit in the front of the hand. Continuing to breathe as you go down on your mat or floor or towel or whatever you're on. You can take the hands back again to get the stretch. Clasp your hands behind to get the stretch in front of the chest again. Perhaps you need to roll your shoulders to loosen it up again. And taking a few cat-cow poses. So the cat stretch we'll start with. As you reach your buttocks and head downwards and the middle part of your back upwards like a little cat wants to do a good stretch in the morning. And then doing the cow. So I'm back at neutral. And now I'm hunching my head and my buttocks up towards the ceiling as the abdomen sinks down. So there's a hunch in my back. And going back into the cat stretch. Head and buttocks down. Head and buttocks up. And if you want to do that once more, or you can start to go back into a child pose. So going back, buttocks towards heels. Open up your thighs if you want, or you can go straight down to your thighs, depending on how your body feels today. If you wish, you can place your hands out so that you're getting a stretch in the upper back. Continuing to reach backwards with your buttocks. If you've got high blood pressure or a bit dizzy, you can stack your hands under your forehead. This is a good resting pose anytime you need to rest. And you can perhaps hold it for a good minute or so. Getting a stretch in the lower back and the upper back. And relaxing you, quieting your mind. And when you're ready to come up, you can place your two soles of your feet together in like a butterfly sort of pose. So you're getting a stretch in the groin, inner thigh sort of area. And if you want to take your heels even further towards your groin, you might get a bit of a deeper stretch. And also aiming for your knees to go towards the ground. You may like to use your elbows to help support that, to push the knees down further. So reaching up and reaching towards the ground with your abdomen being the first one to aim towards the ground. So leaving your chest and your head up a little bit until you feel a good stretch. Continuing to breathe, focusing on the breath at all times. In through the nose and out, making sure you're getting oxygen in your body. And relaxing into the pose. Coming up, we're going to take a deeper stretch into the inner thighs now. So taking your legs apart as much as you feel comfortable. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch in the inner thighs, but not painful. Never work to pain. You can place your hands in front of you, and you can either walk your hands out further away from your body or slide until you feel a good stretch in the inner thigh or wherever else you might feel it. Sometimes you can get a bit of stretch into the lower back. I'm getting one a bit into my right hamstring today as well. So perhaps that's particularly tight. Again, aiming for abdomen to reach the ground first, chest and head up. And if you're really flexible, your tummy might actually reach the ground. And then you can slowly start to bring the chest and head forward as well. Breathing into it. And taking the arms wide, reaching towards the ankles or the toes. You can place your toes facing upwards towards the ceiling. So you're getting a little bit of stretch into the calf as well. It's a nice deep stretch for the inner thighs. And again, I'm getting a bit of a stretch in the hamstring. Again, continuing to get your abdomen forward as opposed to hunching your chest and head. And now, walking one of the arms towards the other arm. And reaching. Get a good hamstring stretch, reaching both hands towards the toe and also moving your body so that the abdomen is aiming towards the knee this time. And you get a good stretch behind the thigh and perhaps the calf. Perhaps pointing your toe towards the ceiling more will give you more of a calf stretch. And now walking your hand, the opposite hand towards the little toe, so the outer side of your foot, and then the other arm, and walk out behind, so that you can get a little bit of a stretch in your back. So looking behind you. Keeping your chest open though, not hunching. Walking back towards your hand and the front of your body into the classic adductor thigh stretch again. As you take the opposite hand to the other side of your leg, towards your ankle or calf and perhaps your toes, pointing your toes towards the ceiling. As you take the other hand there and opening up so that your belly button aims towards your knee. Getting a good hamstring stretch while you're also getting your adductor stretch. When you're ready, walking your fingers and your hand towards the little toe, taking the other hand out and looking behind you, opening up so that you're getting a good bit of a twist, stretch into your back. And I'm getting a little bit in my ribs as well. Continuing to breathe as usual. And you can, when you're ready, walk your hands back towards the other foot, back into your double-handed stretch. And slowly leaning over to one side, towards the foot. Perhaps taking your arm behind you to open up the chest. As you open up towards the ceiling, your chest, open up your heart. As you relax your body to the hand that's on your foot. Relax your waist downwards, still opening up the chest. And when you're ready, lifting the arm up and over. I used to be really good at this when I was younger, but we work with what our body can do at this time. I should be doing it more often, and I'm sure you should as well. But we work with what we've got, because otherwise we don't want to overstretch. Reaching your hand towards your foot so that you're getting a stretch into the side of the body, relaxing the body onto the thigh and knee. Slowly coming up. We have to do the opposite side. Might need to roll your shoulders or do a little bit of a wiggle. And then when you're ready, reaching to the other side, relaxing your arm down towards your foot, then relaxing your waist and body down as you reach over, perhaps taking your arm behind your back so that it can help you open up your chest and open up your body towards the ceiling. No hunching. And taking the arm over when you feel ready towards the opposite foot. If you're really flexible, you might actually be able to relax on your leg. While your hand reaches your foot. You can stay there a bit longer if you wish. Or you can come up slowly. And slowly bring your legs back together again. And so I'm sitting on my ankles now. It's a good stretch. If you're quite flexible, you can actually open up your ankles apart from each other and start to sit your buttocks down on the floor. I can't do it because I've had a sprained ankle, so again, working with your injuries and your body's limits. But you can practice the stretch. If you don't make the full range of motion, that's fine. Just practice the stretch and breathe into it. And the more flexible people can actually take their hands back as well onto the ground. Perhaps one at a time, or maybe you can take both. And again, that's too much for my ankle at the moment. A good hip flexor stretch. So taking your knee up and the other one is back. And we're leaning in downwards. So you're getting a stretch in the groin sort of area again, in the hip flexor muscle. Placing your hands down on the ground when you're ready. And continuing to get the good stretch in the hip flexor. So pelvis leaning towards the ground. When you wish, you might like to bend your elbows or lean them on the ground. One at a time, or both. Still continuing to get a good stretch in the hip flexor, in the groin sort of area. And stretching back into the hamstring to prepare for a split stretch. Now, if you wish, you can stay in that or the hip flexor stretch, or you can combine them together gently, going forward into a split stretch. Only do this if you feel safe and have well prepared the other two stretches. If you're really, really flexible, try to avoid opening up the hips to the rear. So you're trying to keep your body again reaching to the front and your hip rotating towards the opposite leg, front leg. Slowly, gently coming down. You might gently bring your legs in. Gently go down to the ground. And we'll do the opposite side. So starting with your hip flexor stretch. On the opposite side, bringing your opposite foot forward. And just gently creeping the foot forward so that you get a stretch in the hip flexor, groin sort of area. Sometimes it can be a bit hard on your knees, so you might need to roll up your mat or put a little folded blanket or towel underneath, or reposition like I just did. And when you're ready, you can reach down towards the ground with your hands, one or both hands. And continuing to get the stretch in the hip flexor. You might like to lean your elbows, bend your elbows, and perhaps even lean them on the ground. And then holding that, or slowly coming back into your hamstring stretch. So sitting back. And leaning over your leg to get a good stretch behind the thigh and perhaps perhaps a little into the calf, especially if you flex your toes towards your knee. And slowly coming up, preparing for a split stretch if you wish, or just continuing to do one of those two stretches, either the hip flexor or the hamstring stretch. If you're coming into the split stretch, gently, gently move your foot forward, and then your back foot gently slides back so that you're getting a nice stretch into the hip flexor and the hamstring, and you're aiming towards a split stretch, gently working with your body's limits. And just be very, very careful to keep your hip rotated, your back hip rotated towards the front, so that you're leaning over your hamstring and not rotating your hip back. When you're ready to come out, gently, gently coming out of the stretch in the reverse position, or slowly lowering your body down when you feel safe. That was a very good stretch. And perhaps we'll just do a gentle hip stretch now. So folding one arm over in a cross-legged type of position. You might need to scoot your hips a little bit closer to your heels. And you should be starting to get a stretch in the buttocks the more you go forward. So leaning your hands forward. You might like to slowly walk them out and holding the stretch when you feel a good stretch. To the other side, so that the opposite foot is underneath and the opposite foot is in front this time. So you're more likely to get a little bit more of a stretch in the opposite side of the body. And so slowly going down, probably aiming again for your abdomen to reach the ground before your chest and head. And you slowly might like to walk your fingers forward. If you're quite flexible, you might even be able to reach your elbows to the ground. Holding the stretch when you feel a good stretch in the buttocks and hips. And you can relax further into it. Continuing to breathe as usual. First we'll do a little bit of a lower back stretch. So lying down on your back. Perhaps we'll do a lying hip flexor stretch first. So if you bend your knees and getting one knee towards your chest, holding it in as you stretch the other leg out long. Breathing out as you stretch out. And then getting more into the lower back, reaching that knee to the opposite side, aiming for the knee to reach the ground first as opposed to the foot. And the opposite hand can reach out, and using the opposite hand to support, aiming for this shoulder that has the arm stretched out to be on the ground as opposed to letting it come off the ground. So keeping this hand and arm and shoulder on the ground as you relax into the lower back stretch. And you might be able to reach the ground if you're quite flexible. You can take the arm away if you wish and let it relax. This is really good for low back pain. Wish both knees can now stretch up. It's not as strong a stretch, but you're still getting a stretch into the back. Continuing to breathe. Now using your abdominal muscles to help your legs come up. Might do a little wiggle of your hips just to massage it. And now bending both knees up again, and the opposite hip flexor stretch is what we're going to do. So the opposite knee comes towards the chest that you did last time, as the other leg straightens out. Just a little bit longer. As you start to rotate that knee to the side opposite to what we did last time. So we get a stretch into the back. Aiming for the knee to reach the ground before the foot and calf. And again, making sure the opposite shoulder and hand are flat on the ground, not coming up off the ground. So keep that, plant that opposite shoulder blade in as you relax your hips. usual. Again, I could do with doing this a bit more. So if you've got stiff hips like me, you can try and do this every day for a week. Hold the stretch for a good minute, breathing into it. It's really good for back pain, lower back pain. And then reaching both knees up. Keeping the arm again flat on the opposite side. Shoulder down, flat on the ground. Continuing to breathe into it. And slowly rolling onto your back. You can have your knees up if your back's still a little bit sore, or you can go out. Legs stretched out, arms slightly away from the body, and checking that you have even pressure on the different body parts in contact with the floor, left and right, head and feet. So just readjusting your body so it's straight and even. If you haven't already, close your eyes and focusing on your breath, taking nice deep breaths in through the nose and hold, and out through the nose. Letting any thoughts just float away and doing a relaxation. Relaxing the right foot and the left foot all the way to the toes. Going up, relaxing the right ankle and the left ankle. And then relaxing into the right back of the calf and the left back of the calf. Relaxing the right hamstrings and the left hamstrings. At the back of the thigh, relax. Relaxing up the front of the calf to relax into the knees, left and right. And then relaxing the front of the thigh of the right hand side all the way up, relaxing the left front of the thigh and the quadricep muscles as you relax into the groin and hips area. Relax, relaxing the whole of the pelvis. Checking the whole of the right leg is relaxed. And then the whole of the left leg relaxed. Relaxing into the right buttocks and the left buttocks as you relax the lower back. Relaxing all the way up the back, the middle back relax, and the upper back relaxes. Relaxing the back of the shoulder, right hand side and left hand side. As you relax down the right arm into the triceps at the back of the arm, going down the elbow, relax. The right lower arm relaxes into the little finger, relaxing all the fingers and the palm of the hand, relaxing the back of the hand so that the whole of that right hand is relaxed. Going up the arm and relaxing into the biceps and then into the right chest muscles. Relax. And then relaxing across the chest to the left hand side and the left hand side front of the shoulder, going down the bicep muscles at the front of the arm to that elbow, relaxing the lower arm into the thumb of the left hand side, and then relaxing each of the fingers, relaxing the front of the hand, the back of the hand, into the lower arm, elbow, and then relaxing the back of the arm on the left hand side where the tricep muscles are, and going in to relax the back of the left shoulder. And then coming in so that the right hand arm is relaxed and the left hand arm is relaxed. Relaxing into the back of the shoulders, between the shoulders as you come up the neck. The back of the neck relaxes all those little muscles going up towards this occiput at the base of the skull. So relaxing your occiput at the base of the skull, going up and relaxing all those muscles at the back of the head, going up to the top of the head, relax. And then relaxing down into the forehead, temples relax, relaxing the eyes and the eyeballs, seeing them go back into your head is a sign that they're more relaxed. Relaxing your nose, your cheeks on both sides, and relaxing into the top lip, the bottom lip, and in the mouth. The whole of the mouth relaxes and the tongue relaxes. Relaxing into the jaw, relaxing the muscles and all the tension in the jaw, and relaxing the front of the throat. As you go, relaxing, ensure you're relaxed all the way down the throat to the chest. And again, checking that the whole of the face and head is relaxed. You can get quite tight muscles in your face, so just checking any muscles that need to be relaxed again, or repeating that sequence to relax the jaw, relax the cheek, the mouth and the lips, the nose, relaxing the eyes and the forehead, relaxing the temples. And just relaxing, quietening your mind. drawing your attention back to your breath, taking nice deep breaths in through the nose and hold, and out through the nose. And you might like to slowly start to move, perhaps continue to breathe. And when you're ready, you can roll your legs to one side after bending your knees and slowly bringing yourself up. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I hope you feel a lot lighter and relaxed now.